6 days induction program sponsored by AICT and IST on the pedagogical tools and techniques for the technical education in the new normal. Today, for session 1, we have Dr. Prashant D Aragade, Head of Pharmacy Department of Government Polytechnic, Jalgaon of Maharashtra. Sir, as a very resourceful person, he conducted so many events or programs, short-term courses on pedagogicals, tools and techniques, and Moodle and other things. Sir completed his B.Pharm in the year 2005 from SSDJ College of Pharmacy, Chandwad, and completed his M.Pharmacy from KLE College of Pharmacy, Hubli. And he completed his PhD, that is doctoral degree, in the year 2013 from Tamil Nadu Dr. MGR Medical University, Chennai. And Sir has more than 13 years of experience as a teaching faculty at various capacities like lecturer, associate professor, and senior lecturer. Now he is in charge of this department. In fact, I attended one online MOOC, 8 weeks MOOC organized by Prashant D Aragade sir and their colleagues. They are a very resourceful team. They, as a team, they organized many number of programs in Maharashtra and other states. And from his training only, I got motivated to use Genomia module site. And from the inspiration obtained from him, I conducted 2 courses on ICT tools using the Genomia Moodle platform. So that much resourceful person in conducting lectures and online sessions to the teachers particularly. Sir trained more than 5,000 faculty in online teaching through various FTPs, particularly from his Department of Pharmacy of Government Polytechnic, Jalgaon. And he attended more than 50 weeks of more than many training programs. His skills are Moodle, ICT tools, Google Labs, MS Office, almost in all the online tools Sir has experience. And as I told you already, they're a very resourceful team. His colleagues are all doing this type of online activity. And particularly they are conducted 8 weeks MOOCs in association with the State Board of Technical Education Maharashtra as a part of UK India Educational Research Initiative. I was one of the participants in that program, and I got benefited from that course. So as a team, they are conducting programs to various colleges for 1 week duration like that. So that much great resourceful person we have today with us, Dr. Prashant D Aragade. On behalf of our management, our Department of Mechanical Engineering and our Polytechnic, and on behalf of all the participants of this program, I extend our heartiest welcome to Dr. Prashant D Aragade sir to this session. Welcome, sir. Now we can take on the session, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. First of all, a very warm morning to each and everyone, those who are present in this online meet. So I really thankful to the Sekhar sir for giving me an opportunity to have a discussion with all the respected faculty members from the different state of our India. So today we are at the day 2, and I hope the day 1 you have enjoyed a lot. And the forthcoming session is also too much of interested. You know, the sessions conducted after my sessions will be by the Dr. Malinga ma'am, and she is a very well-known person. So I felt very, happy to deliver the session before her. So it's a golden opportunity for me, isn't it? So I really thankful. I would like to request one thing to each and every participants and respected faculty members. Please be an active member during this our session, because I would like to talk with each and every faculty members during the sessions. You can also put your thoughts in chat box. I will take some survey through using the Multimeters. So I need your active participation in each and everything. You know, it's my, you can say the habits. to see the chat box frequently, so you can motivate me to share the more and more things with you through the active participation in the chat box. So it's my humble request to each and everyone. So I hope my voice and my video is clear. So now I'm going to share my screen also. So let me share the screen first. Okay, now everything is fine now. Shall I start now?
Yes, sir. Please, sir.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, sir. In online setup, always we need to have some feedback. We need to have some responses from the audience. Then if the responses or feedback is not on time, so we just feel that we are just talking in front of the inanimate objects. That is our screens, isn't it? Towards our screens. So thank you, Samuel, sir, for your active participation in this chat box. I think one chat is there. Sir, audio is very low. Is it fine now, audio?
It's fine, sir. It's okay, sir. Maybe some issue there.
Okay, no problem, no problem. So, respected faculty members, we will going to start our journey of the introduction of modern pedagogical tools for the online teaching learning process. But rather, I will say the modern pedagogical tools for active teaching learning process, because now online is a very common. Since from the March 2020, we have in these lockdown situations and our students are not present in our physical classrooms, and due to this pandemic situation, now see, I have got the opportunity to have a words with you all peoples, isn't it, through this online platform. So we have learned so many things during these pandemic situations. So today we are going to discuss about the different pedagogical tools or techniques which are useful for the inculcating the active teaching learning process in line to the NAP 2020. So respected faculty members, at the end of this session, you will be definitely able to explain the need of modern pedagogical techniques. At the end of these sessions, you will be able to list the relevant pedagogical techniques in different learning settings. There are so many kinds of the learning settings are there. So which pedagogical tools will be useful to inculcate or to share your views with your students, isn't it? So you will be able to list that particular pedagogical techniques. And at the last, definitely you will be able to use of these innovative tools or techniques in active teaching learning process. I have just replaced the word online with the active, because now online is the common thing, because when we are going to implement our National Education Policy 2020, always we have to think about the hybrid learning, or we have to think about the online teaching learning process. So in this online teaching learning process, the activeness is very, very much important. The engagement of the learners is very important. The real-time feedback is also very much important. So, dear faculty members, we have to use the different innovative tools, or you can say the ICT tools, or you can say some techniques in active teaching learning process. So let's start take a review of the traditional teaching or the online sessions, just like the today's sessions we are going on. So already you know that there are different kinds of the traditional teaching methods, such as the lecturing methods, such as students are studying by reading the books, isn't it? Students are gaining some knowledge by seeing the pictures. Students are getting the things by watching the videos, and sometimes they are learn the things by participating the demonstration. So they are just listening that particular things, whatever the teachers are going to be explained. If you see the traditional teaching method, what are the different senses of the learners are involved in the learning process? So I have tried to make the list of the different senses. So if suppose hearing the lecture, so here sense will be work. Reading the books, so just students will read the things. seeing the pictures, they are watching the things. But watching the videos, they are use the two senses, that is see and hear. And in demonstration, they are also watching and they are following their teachers. But there is one question. Are they actively participated during these all the teaching methods? Yes, yes or no? Yes. Yes, I want your answer. Are they, means the students are actively participated in during all these teaching methods which you have seen on your mobile screen or laptop screen? Thank you, Rasir sir. Rasir sir or madam, I don't know, but don't take it otherwise. Thank you very much, admin and Nasir. Only two responses we have, near about the 48 participants. We are all the teachers. So come on. Just in this very cold morning, in our Maharashtra now, there is somewhat the temperature has dropped down. So I need some energy from you peoples. Yes. Are the learners or the students are actively participated? No. So they are passive learners, and these all the techniques are the passive learning technology, passive learning methods. Why? Because students are not involved actively in each and every these teaching methods. So they are not able to take the active efforts. So we need to shift our passive learning techniques to the modern pedagogy or to the active learning strategies, such as if suppose you have to able to conduct the group discussions, or you ask the students to present something in front of the class, or you may give some assignments as a role play for the different groups of the students, or you may use some simulations and ask them you have to handle that simulation softwares and all these things, or you may assign some practicals and projects by doing the things. So if you are using this kind of the pedagogy, that times the different senses of the students or the learners are working out. For example, in group discussion, they are learned by say and write. During presentation, those who are giving the presentations, you know what? I don't think so. Those who are the audience or the learners will learn the things from the presentation, but those students have get an opportunity to present something in front of the class. Definitely, at least that particular students or presenters will learn by saying and writing. Just like a role play, say and do, say and do, and say and do. So they will say something and they will acting something. So here, in each and every teaching technology, the students are actively participated because they have to learn through the activity. They have to perform the activity. So when there is performing something, definitely, isn't it? Definitely there is need, definitely there is the learning can happens. Yes, you have correctly pointed out, Nasir, sir. We need to use the active learning such as PBL, TBL, and concept mapping. Yes, we need to use that. There is a need. So here the active learning can take place because they have learned through the activity, they have learned through the doing, learn by practicing. You can use any words, no problem. But as a teacher, we need to add some these active learning strategies into our day-to-day teaching and learning process. Why it is important? Why there is need to shift from the traditional teaching to modern pedagogy? Because when we see the definition of learning, learning is nothing but the permanent change in the behavior. That is permanent change in the knowledge, skills, and attitudes. When we call the learning can happens. When we talk about the learning, learning is nothing but the permanent change in behavior, or you can say in other words, there is a change in knowledge, there is a change in skills, and there is a change in attitudes of the students. But most importantly, how you are going to assess how much amount or how much there is change in the knowledge, skills, and attitude. We need to assess how much they have retained the information. isn't it? By taking the examination, we are just going to have assessment, how much they have able to retain the information. So Edgar Dale has developed one learning pyramid by doing the research with the different kind of the teaching methodology, just like this. So this is the learning pyramid designed by the Edgar Dale, and he has done the research, and then he has found out that by lecturing method, the students will be able to retain only 5% information. And still we are using the lecturing and lecturing. Today only I have also using the same kind of the methodology, but I would like to request you that you have to be active participants during this session. So I will come to know that how many of you are just active listeners or passive listeners. You know, there are so many advantages of online teaching learning process, but there is one disadvantage that we don't know whether our audience have follow us or not, they have listeners or not. Just take an example of our slide number 3. I have asked one questions, and we will got only the 3 responses, isn't it? Out of the 52 participants, we got only the 3. Yes, very good. You have rightly pointed out, Nasir. Also to design the critical thinking and create the solving the problem process in our learning process. Yes. We need to have these things. So lecturing methods, only the 5% informations are written. If the students are attending the lectures and followed by the reading of the books, they will be able to retain up to the 10% of the informations. If they are watching some audio visuals, then 20% informations are written. If they are as a part of demonstration, just watching, they are not using something, they are not doing the practice, they are not doing the practicals, they are just only watching the demonstration, then they will be able to retain the up to 30% of the information. But if they are participating in the discussion, group discussion, then there is 50% of the retentions of the informations. If you are providing an opportunity to the students by practice, by doing, or by assigning some practical, some project works to them, so definitely they will be able to retain up to the 75% of the information. And respected faculty members, teach by others, or if you are giving an opportunity to them for the immediate use, that is learn by doing or teaching to the others, they will be able to 90%. And you all are agree with me, isn't it? I'm going to say something now, and if you are agree, just put your yes or no in the chat box. Okay, you all are agree with me. When we have started our teaching profession, that time our knowledge, our skills, our attitudes are something different. And day by day, as experience is going increase for ourselves, we have be experts, or we will be experts or masters in our subjects, because during the first year we have learned the things first by teach by other methods, isn't it? And now we are the experts in each and every things now. Are you agree with me now? Okay, only 2 answers in the chat box. So it means that out of 50, only the 2 are the active participants. So I don't have that particular picture in my this presentation. So otherwise I will show that particular pictures to you, how the online teaching learning can happen. So I need to search, I need 5 minutes to search it in my computer. Otherwise I will share that particular picture with the Kesar sir. He will share in your WhatsApp or Telegram group. No problem. So thank you very much. I agree totally, sir. Sudha, okay, yes, sir. Revati ma'am, yes, sir. Okay, that's good. So as here I have said that if you are giving some opportunity to the students to present something, even in online setup also, ask them to deliver the seminar, prepare the presentations. So while preparing the presentation, while designing the PowerPoint, isn't it? So they are collecting the information from different sources. They are trying to do the practice, and then they are delivering the things, isn't it? So during that particular things, they will be learn something up to the 90%. So this is the active learning strategy. So we need to think whether you have to follow the traditional or whether you have followed to the active. But as far as the teaching and learning process is concerned, we need to use the passive learning strategy in novel ways so that, or we need to hybrid some active learning strategies with the passive learning strategies so that the retention of informations can be improved. So there is a need for the shifting from the traditional to modern pedagogy. You know, we have keep one learning outcomes. The each and every participants will be able to explain the need of modern pedagogy tools, isn't it? So there is a need for shifting of traditional teaching methods to modern pedagogical techniques. And then when we talk about the Bloom's taxonomy, I am not going to talk everything about the Bloom's taxonomy because now you all are aware about the Bloom's taxonomy now, each and every levels. You know very well what are the lots and what are the hots, that is low order thinking levels and high order thinking levels. You know very well. And when we have this differentiation or comparison with the learning pyramid, with the Bloom's taxonomy, with the order of thinkings, then you will come to know that if you are following the lecturing methods or reading or audio visuals, you will be able to what? You will be able to achieve your learning outcomes up to the lower order thinking level. But dear faculty members, if you are using the modern pedagogical techniques which have the maximum retention of informations, and it can be used to achieve your learning outcomes at higher order thinking levels. So now we need to achieve the higher order thinking levels, because when we talk about the OBE, because we are practicing now OBE in our India, because we are accepted the Washington Accords according to the NBA. We need to accredit our institutes from the NBA, isn't it? Or if you are in a degree colleges, the NAC will be there. But everywhere now OB is working, OB is practicing. That is outcome-based education, isn't it? So in order to achieve or in order to attain our outcomes at the higher order thinking levels, we need to use some teaching technology or ICT tools or modern pedagogical tools so that the information retention can be improved and our attainment of the each and every outcomes at the higher order thinking level can take place. So just think about that, and we need to shift gradually, not immediately. We need to shift gradually from the traditional teaching to modern pedagogical tools. I hope you have understood the things till now, because we have finished the 9 slides. Okay. Now, we have talked about the different teaching methods, traditional and modern. But when we talk about the teaching and learning processes, the most important team member of this teaching learning process is the learners. So always try to find out the types of learners, because there are different learning styles. The learners can be classified depending on the learning styles. Some of the learners are visuals. Some of the learners are visual. They can learn the things by watching the things, by seeing the things, by watching the graphs, illustrations, pictures, videos, articles, PowerPoints, etc., etc. Some of the learners are auditory learners. They have able to retain the more informations after listening something, by having the one-to-one conversations, by listening the oral presentations, by hearing the different podcasts which are available freely on our internet sources, or the group discussions, or the videos. And some of the learners are kinesthetics. I think you are agree with me. All the learners are not having the same learning styles. If you are teaching some subjects to the 60 students in a class, so all 60 students are not the visuals, or 60 students are not the auditory learners, or 60 students are not the kinesthetic learners. So we need to address each and every learners depending on their learning styles. So for that purpose, we need to know their learning styles. Visual, auditory, kinesthetics, you know what? So kinesthetic learners are nothing but they can learn effectively what they do. You know, while making these presentations, I come to know that I am a scribble learner. When I read some informations on internet or some books about the learning styles, then I find out that I am myself is a scribble learner, that is learn what they write out. I have able to retain the informations when I have write it down in my notebook. It's my habits. When I was in my UG course or in PG course, I always use the different kinds of the pages. So we need to find out about the types of learners, and then you have to use some techniques or mixing up some teaching techniques so that we can able to address the each and every learners. Apart from that, there is a huge diversity of the learners, or you can say the student diversity, isn't it? So there are different kinds of the students or learners, depending on their thinking style, their language, their ethnicity, their religions, perspective, experience, job level, gender, skills, age, and etc. 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 So there is a variety of diversities in our learners. We need to address each and every diversity. So for that purpose, you know very well, some of the learners are the fast learners. Some of the learners are the slow learners. Some students or some learners like math, some learners like readings, or some learners like writing. There is a lack of coordination in some of the learners. Some of the students has a short attention span. Some students have the more attention span, like that. We need to address each and everything. Apart from that, most challenging and most problematic things in our class is the engaging students. How to make the interactive class, or how the students are involved throughout the learning environment, throughout my lecture. It is a big task for us, isn't it? It is a big task for us, because we know very well their attention span is differently, but some of the students are able to lose their attentions. Some of the students lose their attentions very easily, or you can say lose their focus very easily. So I think you all are agree with the 10 minutes or 12 minutes is sufficient to have their attention in our class, even in online setup also, isn't it? I think you are agree with me. After 10 to 12 minutes, students are not able to have their focus, have their attentions towards our lectures. They are not able to listen us. So we need to add something into our lectures so that they can able to interact with us. So they will lose their focus very easily. And it's very difficult to motivate them. So it's our duty at the point when they are going to lose their focus, we need to add something into our lecture so that they will motivate to learn, so that they will not able to lose their focus easily. So for that purpose, we need to learn, we need to inculcate some student engagement strategy. I know whatever I am sharing with you, it is somewhat philosophical, but if you think each and every sentence very carefully, then you will get something idea from that. And for that purpose, we need to inculcate some different strategies. We need to practice some different things from the traditional teaching methods, so that there will be we can able to improve the engagement of the students in our online sessions, or you can say the online teaching and learning process. So to address the different kinds of the learners, or you can say to address the average retention, information retention, we need to use the modern pedagogy. And when we club all these things, then I have a solution for each and every problem. So to shift from passive learning strategies to the active learning strategies, we need to use, or we need to inculcate some group discussion activities for our students. We need to inculcate some collaborative learnings in our regular teaching and learning process. We need to provide an opportunity to the students for the peer learnings. So during the peer learnings or teach by others, they will be able to increase the retention of information. When we talk about the learning styles, so we need to combine some different teaching methodology or modern pedagogy so that we can able to address the each and every learning styles. Okay, for that purpose, you can create your own video clips or show some other video clips by the podcasting, by the discussions, by providing the different activities, assigning some activities to them so that each and every students or learners can able to learn the things very effectively. You know the very well the students diversity, slow learners and fast learners. So for that purpose, you can use the MOOC. Different MOOCs are available. Even you can able to create your own MOOC. Just like the Kesar sir has told that they have developed the Genomio model platform. So you can use other LMS platform. You can record your own video, isn't it? I think during this 1 week you are going to learn how to record the video or how to develop the e-content, isn't it? I think Dr. Malinga ma'am will take e-content development tomorrow. Kuldeep Bansal will be talking about that, isn't it? So think for that particular things. So you have to design some platform which are suitable for the self-paced learning. You have to incorporate some cooperative learning strategies so that the slow learners can able to learn from the fast learners. So make a group like that. You have to identify who are the slow learners, who are the fast learners, make a group. So by collaborating, by cooperating the fast learners with the slow learners, they can able to learn from their peers. That is the peer learning. So we need to inculcate some of these modern pedagogical tools into our regular teaching and learning process so that we can able to address their different learning styles. We can able to address their student diversity, and also then most importantly, how to improve the student engagement. Because we know that there is problem of losing of their attentions and losing of their motivations. Questioning is a very good tool to grab their attentions again into our class, in physical class and in online class also. You know what is my habit? You are not my regular student, so sorry for that. Means you are not my regular audience. Okay. Every day I ask my students to keep your camera on. Always, I want to see the each and every camera. You know what? My slide is going in another window, and rightly I am now watching you in a Google Meet now. So I am just sharing particular window with the students, and I am just talking with the students by seeing their faces. And if someone is not listening properly, I immediately prompt out his or her name and asking some questions, because asking questions in regular time intervals is one of the good technique, or you can say this is the one of the active learning strategies, even in online setup also. And in daily, I have practiced it daily, because when I was conducted my phase 1 training, that time I come to know that the asking the question is one of the interactive tools. 10 plus 2 plus 10, just like that. One of the professor told that during that particular training sessions, 10 plus 2 plus 10 means 10 minutes teaching. Take a 2-minute pause, ask some questions in that 2 minutes, give the feedback, and again teaching. So 10 plus 2 plus 10. I think you are also agree with me. Okay. Thank you very much, Nasir sir. Gamification is also there. Yes. You have just I don't know whether you have read my all the presentations, because in somewhere I have added the word the gamification. You know what? And you are picking out that particular words very nicely. So really thankful, Nasir sir or ma'am. I don't know. Okay, don't take it otherwise. So thank you very much for your insightful discussion. Oh, thank you. So asking the questions is a somewhat very good tool. Now in modern techniques, you are using the various kind of the tools available freely on our online teaching learning process, isn't it? There are so many platforms are available to ask the questions. For example, quizzes, isn't it? For example, Multimeter, Kahoot, polls everywhere, and many others online feedback tools or questioning tools are available. Even You can create some quizzes in the Moodle platform or the Google form, like that. You can ask the questions, you can assign some group activities, you can have some student response system, that is real-time feedback system. You can also take the feedback so their engagement can be improved. So you have to inculcate that particular things into us. So dear faculty members, we have seen some traditional and some modern technologies. So just we will be have a discussion for the traditional modems in 1 or 2 minutes. Then we will stop here for this further discussion. Then we will see the next point. You know, the traditional teaching methods is a teacher centered, no doubt. The modern is a learner centered. In traditional, we are just thinking about the transfer of knowledge, but here we are just trying to discover something from our students. Definitely the traditional is the passive learning strategy and modern is active learning strategy. In traditional, there is a competitive, but in modern, we are using the competitive learning techniques. We are really focused on inputs only in traditional, but in the case of modern, we are practicing the OB, that is focuses on the totally outcomes. In traditional setup, we have set the lecture time fix, that is we have to be a present for the 10 to 12, but in case of the modern, variable time for the learnings. We are just, our students are just answering the questions, or we are just answering the questions, but in modern pedagogical tools, the students are asking the questions, teachers are also asking the questions and giving the answers, isn't it? In traditional, we are totally focused on the curriculum coverage or the completion of the syllabus. But in modern pedagogical tools, we are just thinking about the program outcomes, how we are going to attain the program outcomes, how we are going to attain the competencies. What are the different competencies we should be inculcated into our students? We have thinking that. If you're practicing the modern pedagogical tools, definitely you will be able to inculcate the important competencies among our students, isn't it? So this is the difference between the traditional and modern pedagogical tools. So now let's see some of the modern pedagogical tools for the teaching and learning process. The active learning based pedagogical techniques are just like that. I know. To discuss the each and every learning techniques, we require at least 1 or 2 hours sessions for each and every, for collaborative learning, for cooperative learning, group discussion, case study, inquiry based, project based, and problem based. And already I think one of the participant, Nasir, they have given the or pointed out everything in the chat box. So that's very nice. Okay. Another modern pedagogical tools based on the ICT tools, for example, interactive smartboards, presentation on LCD. So these are suitable for the physical classroom. Wikipedia and search engines, podcasting or voice threads, blogging and YouTube. I think most of you have now your own YouTube channels. You are able to creating your own educational videos, your own educational animations, so that students can learn the things. You know, I have practicing each and every things, that is YouTube or the creation of videos or creating of the animations, and I got the very positive results from my learners. You know, I have using these video techniques in my regular teaching and learning process. Students are enjoying the both ways, online session as well as the videos also. Another ICT based technology is nothing but the use of content management system, the learning management system, student response systems, gamifications, discussion forums, wikiboards. So I want to ask one question to you. How many of you are having your own website? Yes, for the uploading some your teaching content. That is the content management system. Yes, anyone having your own websites where you have uploaded the content for the students or for the teachers? How many of you have? Yes, do you have the website? Thank you, sir. I think Kesar sir is very prompt, able to give the prompt reply. Okay. My second question is, how many of you are using the learning management system? How many of you are using the learning management system? Okay, Jayalakshmi ma'am, you can unmute yourself and ask something. Okay. Dr. Meenakshi Rathi. Okay. Which LMS you are using, Dr. Meenakshi ma'am? Which LMS platform you are using? Yes, Anita ma'am. Which LMS platform are you using? Moodle and Google Classroom. Very good. Google Classroom. Very good. G Suite. Okay. Moodle Cloud, Genome, your Google Classroom. Okay, that's good. So in our 71 respected faculty members, and the few are the active participants. That's good. Always you have to use the different LMS platforms, so that we need to have some asynchronous interaction with our students. And it is really important. So I think tomorrow or day after tomorrow, you have one sessions on the Edmodo, isn't it? Okay, also using the Hub Center. Okay. Edmodo is one of the learning management system freely available. Even I am using the Genomio platforms. We have created our sites in 2018. So we have the 10 GB space. So we are using that Genomio platform in our day-to-day teaching and learning process. Yes, Kesar sir, you are really correct. Everyone are using the Google Classroom. Google Classroom is one of the learning management system. It is also a good one. It is very, very user friendly for the teacher as well as for the students. Then student response systems such as the Multimeter, Kahoot, quizzes. There are too many tools are available online for the formative assessment, isn't it? Gamification, you can add some competitions, some games into your regular teaching and learning process. Definitely students will like it, and their focuses or their engagement throughout your learning and teaching and learning environment will be improved. For the discussion forums or wiki boards, you can use the Moodle or any other things very perfectly. Definitely the students will be able to get the things very properly. So when we talk about the online educations, always try to think what are the different modes of online teaching learning process. For the effective implementation of national education policy, now it's our role. Our role means what? It's the teacher roles now. They should be use this online platform or online teaching learning environment. So there are two modes of online teaching learning process, that is synchronous modes and asynchronous mode. The synchronous mode is nothing but the today's sessions, or you can say this particular 1 week training program. And asynchronous mode means what? Whatever you have learning through the whatever you are learning or whatever the trainings you have attended on the SWAYAM platforms or NPTEL platforms, isn't it? Or any other platform, that is the synchronous mode. And I am practicing the blended or hybrid learning mode. We need to make a blending of synchronous as well as asynchronous mode. Okay. So my humble request to each and everyone, you have to go to the menti.com and use the code 93315855. Okay. And you have to give the answer of one question. There are two questions for you. Go to the menti.com. I have shared the link in the chat box and use the code, or you can directly go to this link. Yes, I want the answer from you peoples. You can use code 93315855. Yes, give your answer for the first question. First question is, which teaching method do you use for the online teaching? Okay, audios, PPTs, videos, okay, PDF lecture material, okay. The three participants has given their inputs. MOOCs, audios, okay. PowerPoint is now coming. That's good. PBL and concept mapping, okay. That's also good. Google Classroom is there. 5 participants has participated. Yes, very low audio. I think, sir, repeat the questions. Okay. Which teaching method do you use for online teaching? Dr. Lilavati. I think it is a problem with your device because I have using the good broadband. You may go to the menti.com so that you will be able to give the answers. Okay, WebEx, that's good. Interactive PPTs, MOOCs, Google Classroom, LMS. Okay. Only the 8 peoples. We are all the respected faculty members. And out of 74 or 72, we got only the 8 responses. Then how we can expect the same thing from our students? So you need to be actively participated in this session. Otherwise, I will search one image and I will show it to you. So just give me 1 minute. Sometimes Zoom meeting. Okay. Give me 1 minute. I will just search one image and I will show it to you. Okay. Don't take it otherwise. But if I didn't get the 50% responses, at least 50% responses is expected, isn't it? Okay, now 12 faculty members. Now 13th, learner-centered, Microsoft Team, videos, participative, okay, Zoom, word wall, that's good, Mentimeter, blended, Moodle, PPTs, okay, that's very good. Now 14s are participated. Now see, I have found one of the picture. So this is the online teaching learning process is going on in our India, or you can say everywhere. I think now you are agree with me now. Professor Pallavi Patil, sir, it's not audible. My voice is not audible?
Sir, it's audible.
Yes, but Pallavi ma'am says it's not audible. Vaishali Hirve. I think now our students are just using these techniques to attend our online class. Okay, they are just starting our online meeting. Put the cameras off or cameras on so you can just have a watch of this image. I have found out. So this is the reality of the online teaching learning process. And I really want to be your students should not be behave like that. So as I share with you what I have practicing, my day-to-day practice during this online teaching is what everyone should be keep their cameras on. At a time, I can able to see the 49 faces on my screen. Even today, even this lecture also, now I am in a Google Meet. I am not watching the slides. So you have to practice like that. Okay. So don't take it otherwise. I have just shown it to, this is the fact, and even we are the teachers, we are not ready to participate in the during these sessions or actively participations in the chat box. So how our students can able to show their activeness? If you are not ready to be a participating actively, then how you are going to inculcate the active teaching and learning process in your day-to-day teaching learning styles? So another questions on Mentimeter. Whatever the different methods you are using during this pandemic situation, so what are the advantages and disadvantages of that method you have used to teach the students? Yes, I want the answer for that question now. Okay, next question is on your screen now. Go to the Mentimeter again. Write advantages and disadvantages of the method you use to teach the students. Yes. Start the answer now. Yes, Hassan Manju, what you want to?
Code. I want code, sir. 3313. I'm not getting.
93315 Okay, I will again share the link in chat box. Depth of knowledge of subject we teach determines their interest in the both modes. Okay, Arun sir. Somme Arun, okay. Okay, let it be. Don't wait for the responses. Now we are going to start have a discussion because I think slide number 29 is going on. I have total 78 slides, so I have to finish. Already 1 hour is completed, so I have only 1 hour to finish up this particular topic now. So respected faculty members, I have taken the example of teacher A and teacher B. Teacher A has conducted the online session and giving the lecture on specific topic, and then he is assigning some problem solving exercise or homework for the students to the practice at their home. Just like today's sessions are just online sessions we have conducted through the WebEx, Zoom or Google Meets, isn't it? So this is the synchronous mode of teaching, the real-time teaching, isn't it? The students and the teachers are available at one platform at the same time. That is the exactly similar to that of our physical classroom. That is synchronous mode of teaching, which can taken place at the fixed time at a fixed place. And you know very well that that particular sessions or the during our physical lectures, it is available to attend only once. Our students can able to watch the only ones. It is at the instructor pace. Whatever the lectures are delivered in the classrooms or during online meeting, it is at the instructor pace. But due to the network issue, due to the some other aspects, the students are not able to cope up with the instructor pace. Due to the network distraction, they are not able to follow the instructor, whatever they are discussing during the online meetings or the regular classrooms. Definitely, the students will ask some questions and teachers will give the answers of that particular questions, but due to the time limit, because we know very well that we have to finish up our that particular lecture for 1 hour or 1.5 hour or half an hour. So during that period, we will be take only the few questions from the students and teacher is available to give the immediate feedback. This is one of the advantage of synchronous mode of teaching. Immediately you are available to give the or solve the queries of the students. But my question is that really it is a student focusing. During the online meeting, it will be only target the few students. We will not able to have the focus on all each and every students. So synchronous mode, it is very difficult to target the all students. So there is another example of teacher B. What teacher B do? He has developed his own e-content or recorded video along with the reading material, and students will watch that particular recorded video, will go through that reading materials at their home before attending the online sessions or before attending the lectures. That is nothing but the asynchronous mode of teaching. That is nothing but the asynchronous mode of teaching. So teachers and students are not available at the same time. Teachers and students are not available on a same time. Okay, Vinod sir, you have answered via Mentimeter. Thank you for your responses. Yes, I have got the 15 answers in the second questions. That's very good. So whatever you have giving the disadvantages and advantages in the online teaching mode, that all are the correct. You know, animations can be seen, tough to evaluate, everyone can listen, easy to understand, it may be the interactive, it is affordable, grasping of students. Okay, it is a monotonic. Oh, sometimes it will be monotonic, no problem. Exam is impossible. Yes. Time consuming to the prepare. Yes, we required lots of time to prepare ourselves for this online teaching learning process. Students aren't responding. Yes, perfectly pointed out by that particular lecture. Teachers. Easy to show the animations. Can finish more topics. Yes. We can able to cover the more content due to this online teaching learning process. No interaction. Okay, fast coverage of the syllabus. Okay, that's good. You have given the very good inputs. I really thankful all these 15 faculty members for showing their interest in a Mentimeter and participated in that particular activity. But in asynchronous mode of teaching, it has given some flexibility in the timing as well as place. Students have flexibility because they have the reading material in their hand, reading material in their devices. So they can watch that particular lecture or recorded lecture video at their own timing, at their own place. And there is a possibility to stop the video, rewind the video, fast forward the video or rewatch. So they will be able to watch them many times, but it cannot be happen in a synchronous mode of teaching, isn't it? And most importantly, student will learn the things at their own pace. So just think on that. If we are the teachers and we are attending the SWAYAM courses on the SWAYAM platform, isn't it, or any other platform where the recorded videos are available, and we have learned that particular things at our own pace. So students will love it to learn the things at their own pace. Those who are the slow learners, they can able to watch that particular video repeatedly, try to get the things. And you have to arrange this video on your LMS platform along with some of the MCQs or the learning by doing activities. So immediately they will get chance to apply the knowledge what they have gained through this asynchronous mode of teaching. Just like you can see the SWAYAM platform. At the end of particular week, they have put some assignments and they have give some quizzes. We have to solve that particular quizzes. So there is an opportunity to apply the knowledge, whatever they have gained through this recorded video or reading materials, which was shared before the classes. Yes, definitely. By going through this learning materials, student has the many questions in their mind. But you have to develop some discussion forum, some platform, so that students can put their questions on that particular platform. Even your WhatsApp should be open. Your group should be open for the asking the questions. I know there will be a not possibility of the immediate feedback for that particular questions in a asynchronous mode, because teachers needs to read that questions, then he will give the answers, no problem. But immediate feedback is not possible in a asynchronous mode of teaching. And definitely, by having the close watch, by having the close monitoring system on your LMS platform, definitely the asynchronous mode of teaching will able to target all the students, because the course completions will be at one click. How many students have watched that particular video, how many students have solved these questions, we got the report on one click on our LMS platform. So asynchronous mode of teaching will target all the students. So you have seen the online learning teaching. So which strategy is effective? Can you please give the answer? Which strategy is effective in this online teaching learning process? Yes, respected faculty members, please give your response. Which strategy is effective? Okay, thank you, Meenakshi Rathi ma'am. Blended one. Yes, perfectly. We can able to combine the advantage of both modes. We will be able to combine the advantage of both modes, that is synchronous mode as well as asynchronous mode. So we can take the in-class activity as a problem-solving activities and regular teaching via the lecture video at their home with the reading material before attending the class or before attending the online sessions. So here we can able to combine the advantage of synchronous mode of teaching and asynchronous mode of teaching. You know very well, in a synchronous mode of teaching, what are the advantage? Nothing but the teacher is available, teacher presence is there to give the immediate feedback, and you have to plan your online sessions in a such a way that there should be a peer interactions. So you can combine that things with the asynchronous mode of teaching. So that is nothing but the blended learning or the hybrid learning. You know, in asynchronous mode, the flexibility is one of the important advantage of the asynchronous mode, because students want the flexibility. Students love, students likes, they learn the things at their own pace, that is the self pace. And most importantly, they are learned independently. So these are the some of the advantages of the asynchronous mode of teaching. Yes, someone want to say something? I think so, using a variety of innovative strategies. Very good. Anita Matre ma'am says flipped classroom. Yes, blending is nothing but the flipped classroom. We have to just flip the things. We have to just flip the things. That is taking the homeworks into the classroom is nothing but the flipped classroom. And Kamal says the interactive one. That's good. I'm really thankful for the Meenakshi ma'am, Anita ma'am, Kamal and Nasis for your response in the chat box. So, you know very well the hybrid versus traditional learning. Now we are talking about the hybrid learning, that is the combination of synchronous with the asynchronous. So instructor role in a traditional, we have the authority, but in hybrid learning we are the facilitator. In traditional learning we are just assessing with the quizzes, tests and papers in a few times of semester. But here we are in hybrid learning, we are the guides, the students in learning process. We will be able to provide the frequent feedback with the small assessments. Okay. During the traditional learning, yes, Philomena, are you wanted to ask something? So students are just attending the class, they are completing their homework, they will appear for the test, and they are totally depends on the instructor to cover the material in traditional learning. But in case of hybrid learning, they will be able to complete their work either individually or collaboratively, and they are more responsible for the learning because they are the responsible to complete their work before the time, because all the materials are available on the suitable platform. You know, in traditional learning, the learning environment in the class lectures, perhaps some material is posted organized online, but mostly the students are depend totally on the class. But in hybrid learning, now the class time is shortened. You can take a very less time for the online session also, because already we have posted each and everything on our platform for this hybrid learning. And now you can utilize the class timing for the active learning strategies. You can have the partially online or in online meetings or some face-to-face meeting also, not it is possible. And already we have discussed it is the teacher center, that is traditionally is a teacher center, passive one, and individual learning method. But hybrid learning, it is a totally learner centered, which is the active one, and it is a collaborative one also. In traditional learning, the class time primarily used for the lecturing, but in hybrid learning, the less time is available for the lecture, but you have to utilize the more time for the active learning activities such as problem solving, group discussion, case studies, role play, presentations, and different techniques. And most importantly, the out of class time. Means the time apart from your online sessions or your physical classroom, the students have the time for the online learning activities. They are participating in the online discussions and providing feedback to the other post. Even it is possible on the Google Classroom, even it is possible on the LMS platforms. They will have the time to watch the videos. Repeatedly, they can watch the video, reading and searching the different materials. They will be participated in the different online quizzes. They will posting their responses, and they will be work collaboratively to writing or completing the assignments with the help of wikis and blogs. So this much they can able to do as an out of class time in a hybrid learning. But all these things are not possible in the traditional classroom. So dear faculty member, there is a need to shift from the traditional to hybrid, because even in NEP 2020 documents, they are give the maximum emphasis on the hybrid learning or the blended learning. So there is a need, the transformation of our teaching and learning process from traditional to the modern pedagogical tools. There is a need now, because to practice or to implement the National Education Policy 2020 effectively, we need to think now for the blending learning teaching approach. And when we talk about the Bloom's taxonomy or learning outcomes or OBE and NBA or NAC, always try to think for how the students are able to achieve the learning outcomes at the higher order thinking levels. In traditional learning methods, what we have did, we have taken the online sessions or we are taking the physical classes where we are introducing the new concepts, new material to the students who try to follow the teacher's instruction delivery. And then we have assigning some homeworks to them. So that homework is at the higher order thinking levels, and the students are only responsible to complete that particular task of these levels individually. So they are only the responsible. Teacher is not available. So how they can learn the things at higher order thinking levels? But if you are using the hybrid learning, then during home or as out of class activity, they are at individual. So new materials or new concepts is introduced to the students as out of class activity. They have opportunity to rewatch it, reread it, because material is with their hand, isn't it? So they will work on mastering the concepts at their own time and at their own pace. So they can easily learn the things at remembering and understanding levels at their own. Okay. And now you have bring the homework into your class, because now class time is having the more time, because already you have completed the new concept through the reading materials and the learning videos. Now you have some time in your hand. As online sessions, even you can organize for that particular things, for the in-class activity, and assign some problems, some group discussion, some any other active learning strategies. And now, dear faculty members, the students and you are work together to learn the things at higher order thinking levels. So this can be possible only when you are ready to blend the things. You are ready to practice the blended teaching learning process. If you are ready to mix the synchronous mode of teaching with the asynchronous mode of teaching. If you are ready to invest the time for the creation of the learning materials for the asynchronous mode of teaching. I know, because I have also invested too much of time in last year to develop the learning material for my students. You know, I have published near about 120 videos on my YouTube channels. You know, so to create the 15 or 10 minutes video, it really requires 3 to 4 days, full 3 to 4 days efforts are required to make a presentations. Even you have seen the today's my presentations. I think most of you have liked my presentations, isn't it? So to prepare this kind of presentation always required too much of timing. So you should be ready to work on that. You should be ready to invest your own time, isn't it? So to make your presentations, to make your reading material, to make your learning materials is required too much of efforts. You need to invest too much of timing. You need to take the too much of efforts. Definitely the outcome will be very good. This year I don't require to invest the things earlier, isn't it? So dear faculty members, what I am trying to say that if you are practicing the blended learning approach, definitely you will be able to achieve your learning outcomes at higher order thinking, because nowadays the NB also asks, they don't bother about what you are achieve at the understanding or remembering level. They are just focusing on the HOTS, that is higher order thinking levels, isn't it? So it's really required. It's really required to practice the things so that your course outcomes will be achieved at the higher order thinking. So your program outcomes will be also achieved. No problem. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Meenakshi ma'am. Concepts are beautifully presented here. Thank you very much for the appreciations. And also help them to create their self-directed learning and identify their learning outcomes. Yes, we need to provide the opportunity for our learners to learn the things. Okay, now we have decided that we are going to use the hybrid learning, but how to design this hybrid learning course? The first thing is what? You are ready to move your lecture from outside your classroom. And then you have to bring the homework into your classroom or in-class learning activities. Moving the lecture outside the classroom is nothing but you have to create the videos, and I think you are going to learn the things in the upcoming sessions. Okay, yes. Someone want to ask something? Someone has the raise the hand. GPTC, Muthurasu sir, do you want to ask something? Yes. So watch the pre-recorded video at the home. Students will watching the videos. They will review all these things or all course material online before entering into the class. They will read some physical text from their own books, or they will read some digital text or from the material which are available online or which are prepared by their teachers. And then they will participate in the online discussions through the discussion forums. And as I told you that after each and every video, you have to provide some course material and giving an opportunity to apply their knowledge by asking some MCQs, some small questions. So that activity is called as the learning by doing activities. So always give an opportunity to the students to apply their knowledge by asking some small quizzes. So before attending into the online sessions or the physical class, they will learn the things by these 5 to 6 steps. Okay. So why to move the lecture outside the classroom? Why there is need? Most importantly, it will give the flexibility. Flexibility to what? Rewatch, pause, rewind, fast forward, and generally match the learner's reception of the concepts of their needs. So slow learners will take more time, but all the materials is available. You know what? In this online session also, there is no button is available to stop the Aragade sir, isn't it? Sir, I don't get the things on slide number 10. So there is no button is available to rewind, isn't it? But if the recorded session is with the students, so there is a flexibility, so that whatever the content you have presented in the recorded video, in the reading material, that the delivery of that particular content is a more effective one, which are very suitable to meet the learning outcomes. And by moving the lecture outside the classroom, now you have a more class time that can be utilized for the active learning strategies, which are helps to engage the diverse learners. So we are addressing the student diversity. We are addressing the students' learning styles. We are addressing the fast learners and slow learners, isn't it? So we are able to address each and every disadvantages of the traditional teaching method which you have seen previously, because now class time is available to engage your students, and because of that we will be able to achieve the more ambitious learning outcomes, and we can able to ask the students to work on higher order thinking levels by designing some problems like that, isn't it? So this can be possible. So engaging students is a somewhat the good task for us. So now class time can now be devoted to for the active learning strategies. According to the Bonwell and Eason in 1991, the active learning strategies is nothing but is on your screen now. Active learning things or active learning strategies or active learning practices is nothing but you can do anything that involves the students in doing the things. You can assign something to them that are doing anything which involves them in doing that particular things. So they are actively participated. They are doing the things. And while they are doing the things, they are thinking about that particular things. Why they are performing. If they are doing the chemistry practical, if they got the pink color, so their thinking will start. Why this pink color is appear after addition of the sodium hydroxide from the burette. So they are starting the thinking, and they will ask why this color get changed to their teacher, and teacher will ask, yes, the pH get changed, and due to the changing in pH, the indicators are the having the property to show the different color in different pH. So they will getting the things. They will getting the concepts of pH as well as the neutralization reactions, because they are starting to think why the things are happening while performing the experiments, while performing the things. So their engagement can be increased. So such a things are nothing but the active learning strategies. And why we have to use the active learning strategies? To engage our students, to refocus them into our class, to help our learners to learn more effectively and efficiently in person as well as online setup or in hybrid setting also, no problem. And most importantly, these hybrid learning techniques or flipped classroom techniques or blended learning techniques, it will provide the new ways for the students to interact, participate, and collaborate. Yes, sir. Kindly mute yourself. Okay, thank you. Okay, so it will provide the new ways for the students to interact, participate, and collaborate. So that's why we need to add the active learning strategies. Now we have a class time ourselves. Class time in our hand, because already we have shared the things with them asynchronously. Now you have to take a synchronous class now, engaging students with newly available class time. So just plan for the 1 hour class, either online or offline, but don't call all the students for this class now. You have to make a small groups, 20 students. So it is possible to have the interaction for each and every students. Interaction among themselves, interaction with yourself also. So that we can able to have a one-to-one interactions with the teachers. And here you can assign some things with them so that a group discussion can happen, the peer learning can happen. And most importantly, while starting your online class, don't repeat the things, whatever you have shared with them as a recorded video or the reading material. Just for the reinforcement of the learned concepts, You have to just give the quick recap. Only 5 to 7 minutes is required to give the quick recap of the concepts, whatever you have shared in asynchronous mode of teaching. And now you have to assign some problems, assign some active learning strategies to them, conduct some group discussions, conduct think, pair, share activity, or think, pair, solo, or any other techniques you can use, so that discussion can happen and there can be question and answering sessions. So one-to-one interaction is possible. Now each and every students will start the interacting. I have practicing it and I really get very good results. This year I really practicing the same things, because already you are told that in online setups we are very fast in coverage of our concepts, content, isn't it? Our syllabus is very covered very fastly now, because there is no disturbances in our online sessions. Students are not disturbing us. Always they are muted, isn't it? So we are just covering our concepts. So those the things which require 2 or 3 lectures in a physical classroom setups, isn't it? That particular things we are completed now in 1 hour online sessions. So we got the more times. So you have to utilize some sessions. Likewise, you can plan for 1 or 2 topics for the blending learning. Don't go for all, because it requires too much of time. But at least 2 chapters or 2 units for this year, 2 units for next semester, next 2 units for next semester. So at the end of 3 to 4 semester, you will have your whole syllabus in your hand for completing asynchronous mode as well as synchronous mode. So if you are trying to like this, definitely you will be able to complete your content effectively as well as efficiently by incorporating these active learning strategy into your classes. So for that purpose, you can use classroom polling. So you can take a poll on a lecture's content before coming to the class or at the beginning of class, whatever the content you have shared as a asynchronous mode. It will be helpful to discover what they needs greater attentions, what they need is the greater explanations, what they needs, what should be reinforced. So if you take the polling or feedback of out of class material, you will be able to know where you want to give the more attentions, where they want the more explanation about the concept. So they will ask, sir, that particular things I didn't understand. So just repeat it during your online session, that particular things, and that particular concepts will take hardly 5 to 10 minutes to cover. So this is a very important aspect in online teaching learning setup as well as in the physical classroom. So you can just apply the same tutorial concepts through this online mode. Make a group of 20 students. For online polling, there are so many platforms are available freely. For example, Polls Everywhere or the Multimeters, or you can take a quiz competitions online. If you just type in a Google summative and formative assessment tools, there are so many platforms are available. You can use that platform, no issue. Okay. Now, second things you can incorporate in a class time, that is discussion. You can have a discussion through this online meeting or the physical classroom, because now you have more time for the online sessions. So here you can ask one questions. Question is such a like that it will activate the students' thinking, and they are start the participating in the discussions. You are there. You are always there to help them, to guide them, to solve their queries during the online discussions or even in the classroom discussions. So discussions implications can be taken place and students will be able to apply the concepts. So discussion is very important, as we have seen in a very first or second slides, that is the group discussions can able to improve the retention rate. Even the say and hear and doing senses are involved, so learning can happen very nicely. Active participation is there, so students are actively participated, so they will be able to apply the concepts. Most importantly, students learning through the collaboratively. Okay, I will not take everything. By giving an opportunity to discuss the things, so it will allow the students to synthesize and integrate the new knowledge. Yes, definitely they will be able to integrate the new knowledge. And most importantly, while having the discussion within the classroom, if the students are taking the active participation in the discussion, definitely it will be helpful to develop their ability to articulate the ideas and meanings clearly. So while participating in the discussions, they will be work on collaboratively, they will work on the hearts, and they will be able to articulate the ideas very clearly. So it will these are some advantages of the discussions. One of the teachers says that the problem solving, okay, and also using the reinforcement learning from other mistakes and errors. Yes. They are learn from the mistakes, errors from the others. What others are what doing the mistakes, others are what doing the things. Even you can take it reversely also. They can learn from the others' achievements also. In group discussion, sometimes some students are having the good presentation skills. Some students having the good communication skills. So they are just trying to repeating the things. So they are learned from the, not only from the mistakes, but from the achievements of the others also. Isn't it? From the correctness of the others also. So these are some advantage of these active learning strategies. For example, you can inculcate some problem solving activities. Just put on some problem during the online discussions, during the online class. So all the students can, all the means only the 10, 15 or 20 students can work on that particular problem. They will try to apply the knowledge or ideas or concepts which are presented during your recorded video or recorded reading materials. So they have an opportunity to apply that particular concepts. And no doubt, you are always there for the assisting to them, isn't it? You will always be there to guide to them, to solve their queries. So teaching assistants will able to provide hands-on guidance and review. You will be always there. So this is one of the good strategy for the online teaching learning process. And you can randomly you have to take some quizzes, online quizzes by using the Kahoot, by using the quizzes, any other platforms are there. So always you have to use that particular things, no doubt. When we talk about the cooperative learning, we have to think for the how to inculcate this cooperative learning, even the TPS activity. Okay. TPS activities comes under this cooperative learning. If the time permits, I will explain the TPS activity. If we don't get the time, then we will skip the TPS activity. So cooperative learning is nothing but a small group learning. You can make a very small group of the students. And in this cooperative learning, where the small groups will work together on a common task. Just like I have selected one image. There are 4 students. They are work together to solve the problems, to have some task, isn't it? So I have taken care like that. Yes, using AI, we should be able to reinforce the concepts very clearly. Yes, by also and also using the emotional learning. Very nice inputs. I have learned so many things from you. Thank you very much, Nasir sir. Okay. Thank you very much for your valuable inputs in the chat box. I really thankful to you, because while reading your messages in the chat box, I have learned many things. So I request to the Kesar sir, kindly share that chat file when you received on your mail after completion of this meeting, because I know you are recording the things. So already chatting is also recorded. So I need the inputs from these sessions. So please, Kesar sir, please send me that particular chat file when you received on your mail after completion of these sessions. So
okay, sir. Sure, I will share, sir.
Thank you. So cooperative learning strategy is one of the instructional strategy in which the small groups are working together. And if you've seen throughout my presentation, somewhere I have put some images, some graphics I have incorporated. So this is the one of the technique. You have to use the high quality graphics in a presentation so that the students will be able to have their focuses throughout your lectures. I have get some good feedbacks during my some of the sessions that yes, you have used the relevant images or relevant graphics in your presentation that will really help us to get the concepts very clearly. So you can use the same things. Okay. But today we are not talking about how to create the effective presentations. That topic is also, I have a very good material for that, how to create the visual presentations effectively and how to present it. No problem. So in a small group, what happens? The students or small groups, each with the students of different levels of ability. So student diversity, slow learners, fast learners, isn't it? Their learning styles. So with the students of different learning styles, use of various learning activities to improve their understanding of subjects. It will help them. The communication skills, the presentation skills, the debating skills will get improved through this cooperative learning. So we need to inculcate this cooperative learning strategy. There are different types of cooperative learning such as jigsaw, group investigation, round robin, STAD, think, pair, share, team, pair, solo. To explain each and every cooperative learning strategy will require another one sessions. So I'm just enlisting the things in front of you so that we can able to go further for the things. In our department, that is Department of Pharmacy, we have practicing it in the 2020, January 2020. That is in and out circle for the discussions, peer discussions, and the STAD. This we are already practicing in our day-to-day teaching and learning process. You know what? In online setup also you can do the things. Now the room breakouts is available, isn't it? If you are having the paid version of each and every meeting platform, such as Google Meet also having the breakout sessions. Zoom is also having the breakout sessions. In WebEx also having the breakout rooms. So just make a group, small groups. Even I have attended one of the FDPs where we have worked on these breakout rooms. When our session was started, in 10 to 15 minutes, our speaker has explained the activities for us, and immediately they have make a group of 3 to 4 participants in each and every group. They have given us time for 10 to 15 minutes to discuss about of that particular problem, and then that particular speakers will come in our room, separate room, and we'll have a discussion. So it will help us to learn that things very effectively and efficiently. So you can also use that particular thing. So this is the modern things. What is the STAD? Student Team Achievement Divisions. We have to divide the students according to their achievements. Okay. In and out circle we have discussion. In peer discussion we have discussion. Now you can see here STAD. We have make groups. Okay. Those students are achieve very fastly. They have make different groups. So student team achievement division. We have to divide the students according to their achievements. Okay. So to explain the STAD again, it requires more time. So for that purpose only I have taken it as an example. You can get the things very properly on our internet, or I will share the things with you afterwards. Okay. Now, when we talk about the TPS activity or the group discussions or small group cooperative learning strategy, so always try to follow the TPS. That is think, pair, and share. Okay, just 10 slides is remaining. I am going to finish it before the time, and then we will stop. I hope everything is going smoothly. So I don't know whether you are enjoying or you are learning the things or you are getting the bores. I don't think so. Okay. So respected faculty members, think, pair, and share. There are 3 phases. First phase is think through the problem or a scenario or questions individually by the learners. They make them as a pair with their partner to discuss the issue, discuss the answers of questions, or discuss the solution of problem. And afterwards, you have to give an opportunity to share their findings or takeaways with the rest of the class. That is the think, pair, and share. So it is the one of the cooperative learning strategies where students will work together to solve the problem or to find out the answer of questions asked by you. So what you have to do, you have to asynchronously share one concept with them and ask them. You have to come prepared within the class or in online sessions, whatever the material which you have shared with them. Give the 1 week time to master them on that particular concepts. Then you have to give some problem or give some questions to them so that they will be able to solve that particular problem depending on the concepts which you have covered asynchronously. Okay. So this strategy requires students to think individually, that is T phase, share the idea with their partner, that is pair phase, and at last refinement of their learning and share that learning with all the classmates. Okay, that is the TPS activity. How to use the TPS? First, you have to explain the techniques to the students, what they have to do. Describe what is the purpose behind to that particular TPS activity, and you have to always give the discussion guidelines and time limits. Always assign some specific times to finish each and every phase, and always give the discussion guidelines. So you have to discuss only this thing, don't discuss other things. You have to be have a discussion in a very concise manner, like that. You have to set the guidelines. Now you have to start with the step 1, that is think phase. So you have to give some instruction, that is you have to perform that particular things individually. Give the time 1 to 3 minutes. Even in online setup, you can do the things. Just I have told you earlier that just pose a problem or pose a questions and give the 5 minutes to them to think individually and just break out the rooms. And in each room, there should be a two students. That is step number 2. So this is possible in online setup also. I am not talking in the physical classroom, because today our discussion is what? Introduction of modern pedagogical tools in online teaching learning process. So this is possible in online teaching also, isn't it? So give the time 1 to 3 minutes or 5 minutes, and you have to ask the specific questions or pose some problem about the concept which you have covered asynchronously. So here the students will think individually about the problem, what they know and what they have learned about that particular topic, and they will write it down, their solution in their notebook. So think phase is over here. In step number 2, that is pair phase, now you have to assign some partners to them, where the students will be able to share their learning, share their solution, share their answer with their partner. So timing is 5 to 10 minutes. So they will have the discussion among themselves, and they will try to justify their answers. And at last, what happens? They will refine their answers by having the discussion among 2 students, among the pair. So they will be able to refine their answers with the proper justification. So at last, they will write the overall learning made from the discussion. So it will help. So discussion can be here. In first phase, they are thinking. In second phase, now they are discussing and justifying, isn't it? So they are debating the things. And at last, the share phase. In that particular phase, you have to just remove all the breakout sessions, breakout rooms in your online meeting. All the students are now in your meeting, and now you have to give the opportunity to few of the students to share their learnings. If you have the 20 students in meeting, give the opportunity for the 10 students, 1 from each group. So they will be able to share their learnings throughout the class. So it will take hardly 10 minutes. So it will give the whole class discussion. Even during the sharing phase, that particular student also share what his partner said. What are the views of their partner? and what are the outcomes of their discussions. So both things they can share with whole classroom. So after having think, pair and share activity, at last they will get, means whole class will get a proper solution of that particular problem with proper justification. And each and every phase, the teacher is available to guide them. You have to always go to the each and every rooms for a few minutes, for a few seconds, ask them what you have problem and just try to solve the problem. So you will be available as a guide to solve their problems. So TPS, think, pair, share, that is cooperative learning strategy. You will be able to use it as an active learning strategy in a hybrid mode, in a blended teaching learning process, in an online teaching learning process, where so many things can be achieved. For example, in think phase, the learners will try to recall and apply the knowledge. So they will work on recall and understanding levels at their individually. Then in pair phase, the learners will learn by teaching and practicing again. We have seen the teaching the others, the presentation, isn't it? That can be helpful to retain the information up to the 90%. And most of you are agree with me during that particular slide, isn't it? So in pair phase, while they are having the discussion, means they are teaching their partners that particular solutions and it having opportunity to practice that particular knowledge. So here they will be able to learn the things by analytical or reasoning or by application skills. And in share phase, what happens? The optimum learning can happen with the proper justifications, because now they are able to justify their answers. So it is a evaluation skills. So they are able to learn the evaluation skills. So what are the benefits of the TPS? So by practicing the cooperative learning strategy, it will help to enhance the students' critical thinking skills. Yes, it will help. Most importantly, by incorporating or practicing the cooperative learning strategy, it will help to improve the listening as well as the reading comprehensions of the students or the learners. It will help for the collaborations, it helps to improve the presentation skills, and most importantly, my dear faculty member, by practicing the TPS, it will help to build the oral communication skills along with the presentation skills. And this is a really very much important soft skills required to be inculcated in their personality. This is a really requirement. In today's scenario, the students are not able to have their attention throughout the lectures or to have their attention for the reading due to these online setups. Many times I have talked with my students, they always ask, sir, we cannot able to concentrate for more than 10 or 20 minutes. So by using this active learning strategy into your class, definitely, whatever the problem students are facing, gradually that problems will be solved by incorporating the active learning strategy into your day-to-day life. So what are the benefits of this in-class activity for the students? So they are learned by practicing it, that is learned by doing it. So they are actively participated in that particular activity. So utilize that particular class time for the active learning. They will help each others to learn the things, isn't it? So they will get the assistance from the teachers to solving the real-time queries. Teacher is available. So they will be able to build their reasoning and application skills. And most importantly, they will learn to work in a team. They will learn how to debate and they will learn how to evaluate. So this is the most important aspects they can able to inculcate in their personality. And most importantly, they will enhance their higher cognitive skills. That is most important outcome of this TPS activity or cooperative learning strategies. What are the benefits of teachers? Now teachers have changed their role. Now he as a guide, facilitator, rather than say on the stage. Now it is just stay on side, not on the stage, isn't it? and you will be able to spend the more times to supporting the students rather than teaching them. You have more time to support the students. And most importantly, you will spend more time to building the analytical as well as the evaluation skills or application skills of the students. Reasoning ability will be improved, and you will be there to assist them for the learning by doing activity. So by practicing all these things, whatever we have discussing, it will help us to achieve the National Education Policy 2020 goals, that is nothing but enable the learner-centered model of teaching and learning. Yes, definitely. By adopting the modern pedagogical tools, we will be able to shift our teacher-centered to learner-centered teaching and learning process. NEP 2020 goal says that there is need of transformation of assessment from summative to formative. By adopting these blending technology, definitely you will be able to have the formative assessments. And at last, we need to integrate the ICT tools in teaching and learning methodology. So definitely by practicing these modern pedagogical tools, you will be able to integrate these ICT tools in day-to-day teaching and learning process. So my dear faculty members, I am really thankful to each and every participants, those who are actively participated and listens me very patiently. I'm really thankful to the organizers of this AICT IST 6 days faculty development program and giving me an opportunity to share my views with all. So during the sessions, if I am using something other words, so don't take it otherwise. So excuse me. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, you can ask the things.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for a extensive, informative, useful presentation. And I will request the participants to unmute their mic and post the questions to the expert. If they have any query, they can unmute and post the questions to the expert. Thank you very much, sir. If any questions, you can unmute your mic and ask to the expert.
So thank you very much for your appreciations. I have seen some appreciations in this chat box. So if you have any questions, please ask. So it will be very useful to me also to add something into my knowledge, because I am in learning phase also. Yes, someone want to say something? Someone want to say something or some oral feedback? You can please unmute yourself. I think Malinga ma'am is not joined yet, no, sir?
We are waiting, sir.
Okay.
So anyhow, thank you for the wonderful presentation, sir. SARS sessions are already available on YouTube. I will share the links of that YouTube videos on the pedagogical aspects and LMS, Moodle, and the ICT tools. They have formed a team and they have prepared a list of videos on various topics. That file is available with me. With your permission, I will share the participants later, sir.
Yes, sir.
That 8-week module MOOCs I
Yes, sir,
attended.
you can share, sir. No
Yes,
problem. Even
that
I am. You can share even our YouTube channel link also, because I have the two channels, one from my department, another for my personal one. On my personal, I have chemistry. Basically, the chemistry part is available on my YouTube channel, and on my department YouTube channel, you will find out the most of the small videos which we have recorded in the beginning of 2020.
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. Please, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Basura, sir, you can proceed, sir.
Yes, sir. Sir, good morning, sir. So my
Good
question
morning.
is how much this ICT, how much this ICT pedagogical teaching is be effective for the primary education, sir?
For primary education. Okay,
Yes.
that is a very, very nice and very newer questions to me. So as far as the primary education are concerned, you know, in primary educations, sometimes the ICT tools may be useful, but if you are developing or if you are having some apps, just like Byju's or any other apps, they are just providing an opportunity to the students for the practicing the things. If suppose we are talking about the additions or the talking about the countings, if we are giving an opportunity to our children, or now you can say the students, by practicing the things, by giving something to them for the practicing, so they will able to learn the things. But for the standard 1 to 4th or 1 to 3rd, so they are just having sometimes, mm, lacking of the devices or the lacking of some of the applications. So there might be some hurdles to inculcate the things in a primary education. But if we are able to develop the things, means if you are able to developing some applications, some mobile applications or some computer applications where that particular students can click on that particular problem, so they will able to inculcate the ideas in their minds. So that can be possible. But for that purpose, we need to think as per the requirement of the that particular students. We need to learn the psychology of that primary students. That will be really helpful. As we are the teaching the students at the polytechnic level or at the diploma level, so we know the psychology of our students. So always we are thinking like that. So to address this issue, I think those who are teaching at the primary level, that particular faculty members will be able to give the perfect answer rather than me, because I know the psychology of my students. But to address that particular issue, we require to take the expert advice who are expertise in the primary education. But definitely we can use that particular things, but we need to think differently.
Oh, okay. Thank you, sir. Okay.
Okay, thank you. Okay, if anyone having any issue, already I have shared my mobile number and my email address with you, so you can contact me at any time, no problem. So I really thankful and thank you very much. And I
Thank you,
think
sir. Thank you, sir.
okay,
And
next speaker
thank you
is
for your nice session. And next session speaker, madam, also arrived, sir. Thank you, sir.
okay.
Very extensive, informative presentation, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you,
If
ma'am,
all,
and thank you very much. And a very good morning, respected ma'am. So once again we are on
Good morning,
once
sir.
again we are on a one platform. So it's very nice feeling for me also. So thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Happy to see you and wish you a happy new year, sir.
Oh, same to you, and wish you happy new year to everyone. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Dear participants,